anyone was. Now to the Hawaiian congressman, who's very aware now, very concerned about what Charlie's been saying and what's been going on here. He, too, has been warning about this. With me now is Republican Charles Djou. That's right, Republican Charles Djou in Hawaii. He's Hawaii's first Republican member of Congress in 20 years after emerging victorious in a special election just a few weeks ago. Congressman, congratulations to you.
Thank you very much, Neil, and aloha, and thank you for having me on the show.
What do you make of this, that businesses, I don't know if the same applies to Hawaii, Congressman, are reticent, they're reluctant, and they're just plain old nervous?
Yes, and with very good reason. The economy, while showing some signs of recovery, there's still a lot of numbers that legitimately concern businesses. And I think the biggest concern out there for businesses and private enterprise out there is the federal government and its mentality of spend, spend, and spend some more. And if that doesn't work, throw more money at every single problem. And this hasn't been working for our nation. And I think businesses are legitimately concerned that the federal government right now is spending far too much money it doesn't have and has no plan to pay it back.
But you would think, not to cast aspersions on Republicans, Congressman, that if there was this prevailing view that your party is seeing very big gains and that you're at the spearhead of it, then investors presumably and business titans presumably more of your thinking would look forward to that and start opening up the wallets, and they're not. What do you make of that?
Well, Neil, I think looking at the current Congress right now here, whether it's Republican or Democrat, what's going on in the U.S. Congress today is simply irresponsible. We are running budget deficits to the magnitude that our nation has never seen before. We're running budget deficit. We've never run a budget deficit in excess of $1 trillion. And now, under this current majority in Congress, we want to run budget deficits in excess of $1 trillion as far as the eye can see. A perfect representation of the problems we have here on Capitol Hill is the failure of Congress to pass a budget. That's one of the most basic things any private business, any family will do to get its fiscal house in order. But here in the United States Congress, we have yet to pass a budget, and it's already mid-June.
But Congressman, what happens, hope always springs eternal, and young guys like you come in out of nowhere, no one expected it, and congratulations for that.
Yeah.
But the bloom quickly gets off the newcomer rose, right? You're facing the same problems your predecessors did. But long before you came along, Congressman, Republicans, when they were in power, botched the same thing they're accusing Democrats of botching now. So the American public looks at either party and says, we're not confident in either of them to get the job done, or Republicans to walk the talk, they're saying.
Yeah. No, Neil, you're absolutely correct. The previous Congresses, which were under Republican control when the deficits exploded, were irresponsible and wrong. But I think what the American people need to understand is the scale and magnitude. The largest budget deficit that ever occurred during the Bush administration was around $500 billion. Today, the budget deficit we're looking at is about $1.5 trillion. It is larger than the largest previous deficit by a magnitude of 3.
But this White House, as Congressman says, they actually inherited in real terms a $1 trillion deficit. We can quibble over those numbers, but the bottom line is, you say they've just taken that and put it on steroids, right?
Yes. No, absolutely correct. And you know what? Whether it was Republican spending or Democrat spending, it's too much spending. We have got to get this under control. I ran on a platform of fiscal responsibility, explaining to the American people and the voters in my district here that we cannot continue this mentality of spending like tomorrow. You don't have to look much further than, say, the nation of Greece and the fiscal problems and financial issues going on right now in Europe to see that that could very easily happen here in the United States. If we don't pay attention to these problems of government spending and runaway budget deficits, this problem is going to take care of us.
Good stuff. Congressman, thank you. Again, congratulations. Good seeing you.
Thank you very much. Look forward to talking to you again.